I am Rihanna Martina, daughter of Duke Andrew Martina and Duchess Eleanor Martina, sole heiress of Martina Duchess. So powerful that the man who never wanted to talk to me is my fiancé, Crown Prince Theodore Astoria. But my happy life vanished in a second when a village girl claimed to be the real daughter. Then what am I, a fake? I am Rihanna Martina. The name tastes like honey on my tongue, sweet and familiar, because it's the only thing I've ever truly owned. Not the silk dresses hanging in my closet, not the diamond tiara my mother placed on my head when I turned 16, not even the grand Martina estate with its marble columns and rose gardens that stretch toward the horizon. None of it was ever really mine. My father is Duke Andrew Martina, a man whose very presence commands rooms to fall silent. His hair, now touched with silver at the temples, still holds the deep chestnut color he passed down to me. They say when he speaks in the emperor's court, even his majesty leans forward to listen. But to me, he's always just been father, the man who carried me on his shoulders through the winter gardens when I was 5, who taught me to read maps by candlelight, who never once raised his voice at me even when I accidentally set fire to his important documents while playing with candles. My mother, Duchess Eleanor Martina, loves me with the kind of fierce devotion poets write sonnets about. Her blonde hair, so unlike mine, would catch the afternoon light as she braided flowers into my hair. She'd sing me lullabies in the old language, her voice soft as morning mist. Every night, without fail, she'd come to my chambers to kiss my forehead and whisper, "You are my greatest blessing, my darling Rihanna." I believed her. God help me, I believed every word. It was my 18th birthday. The ballroom glittered like a jewelry box. My 18th birthday. The age when a noble lady is officially presented to society, when marriage proposals begin to arrive in perfumed envelopes, when life truly begins. Mother had outdone herself. Thousands of white roses cascaded from the ceiling. Crystal chandeliers threw rainbow prisms across the marble floors, and the orchestra played a waltz so beautiful it made my chest ache. I wore a gown the color of midnight sky, embroidered with silver stars that caught the light with every movement. Mother had commissioned it 6 months ago, crying happy tears during every fitting. Father had gifted me a necklace of sapphires that matched my eyes just like his. "You look like a princess from a fairy tale," my younger cousin, Lady Celeste, whispered as she adjusted my train. "Crown Prince Theodore won't be able to take his eyes off you." I laughed, but my stomach twisted. Crown Prince Theodore Astoria, my betrothed since childhood. The arrangement had been made when we were both 10 years old, a political alliance between the Martina Duchy and the royal family. We'd grown up together, shared tutors, and had tea in the palace gardens every Sunday. And he hated every moment of it. Oh, he was always perfectly polite, bowed at the correct angle, remembered to compliment my dress, but his eyes, those cold amber eyes, would drift toward the windows, the doors, anywhere but my face, as if I were a chore to be endured, a duty scratched off a list. "His Highness Crown Prince Theodore Astoria," the herald announced, and the crowd parted like a silk curtain. He looked magnificent, as always, hair black as a raven's wing, tall and broad-shouldered in his royal military uniform. Every unmarried lady in the room held her breath, but he walked straight to me with mechanical precision, bowed, and extended his hand. "Lady Rihanna, happy birthday!" His voice was flat, empty. "Your Highness!" I placed my hand in his, feeling the familiar coldness of his touch. "Thank you for coming." We danced because we had to. His hand on my waist felt like a shackle. We moved through the steps perfectly. We'd had the same dance instructor after all, but there was no warmth, no spark. Just obligation spinning in circles under glittering lights. "Only 2 more years," he murmured, so quiet only I could hear. "Then we can both be free of this farce." My heart cracked a little more, but I kept smiling. I'd had 18 years of practice. The dance ended, he bowed, I curtsied. The crowd applauded our perfect performance, and then the ballroom doors burst open, And there was standing the girl who turned my reality. She stood in the doorway like an apparition, small and delicate, with honey blonde hair that fell in soft waves, exactly like my mother's. Her eyes were the same shade of forest green as mother's. She wore a simple traveling dress, dusty from the road, and carried a worn leather satchel. But even covered in dust, there was something ethereal about her. The music stopped. Every conversation died. Her voice trembled. I'm looking for Duke Andrew Martina and Duchess Eleanor Martina. I was told they live here. I was told they're my parents. The world tilted. Father moved first, always the composed Duke, making his way through the frozen crowd. Young lady, perhaps we should discuss this in private. No! Mother's voice rang out like a bell. She pushed through the guests, her face pale as moonlight. Let her speak. The girl's hands shook as she reached into her satchel and pulled out a bundle of papers. My name is Jasmine. Jasmine Martina. I was switched at birth. The woman who raised me told me everything before she died last month. She was a maid here 18 years ago. She'd just lost her own baby, and when she saw the Duke's newborn daughter, her voice broke. She couldn't help herself. She switched us, took the Duke's real daughter, and left her own deceased child in the cradle. The papers fluttered from her hands, scattering across the marble floor. Birth records, hospital documents, a signed confession from her adoptive mother. Mother let out a sound I'd never heard before, something between a gasp and a sob. She rushed forward, and I watched, frozen in my midnight sky gown, as my mother cupped this stranger's face in her hands. Your eye, Mother whispered. You have my eyes, my mother's eyes. Father was examining the documents, his face growing paler with each page. Eleanor, these are genuine. The dates match. The hospital seal is authentic. This is our daughter, Mother finished, tears streaming down her face. Our real daughter. The ballroom erupted in whispers. I stood alone in the center of the dance floor, my sapphire necklace suddenly feeling like a noose. If Jasmine was their real daughter, then who was I? I was standing there stunned. They took her in immediately. Of course they did. My parents were good people, kind people. They couldn't turn away their real daughter, the child who'd been stolen from them 18 years ago, the child who'd grown up in poverty while I'd slept in silk sheets and eaten from golden plates. I expected everything to change overnight. Expected them to throw me out, to reclaim all the love they'd wasted on an imposter. But they didn't. Rihanna, sweetheart. Father found me in the library 3 days after the birthday catastrophe. I'd been hiding there, buried in books, avoiding everyone. We need to talk. I set down my book with trembling hands. I'll pack my things. What? No. He looked genuinely shocked. Rihanna, you are still our daughter. You've been our daughter for 18 years. We raised you. We love you. That doesn't just disappear because of biology. But Jasmine is also our daughter. We have room in our hearts for both of you. He sat beside me, taking my hand. I won't pretend this isn't complicated. I won't pretend it doesn't hurt to know you're not. But you are still my little girl. The one who used to steal jam from the kitchen. The one who cried for a week when her pet rabbit died. The one who makes me proud every single day. I wanted to believe him. God, how I wanted to believe him. Mother said similar things, holding me tight and crying into my hair. You are my daughter, Rihanna. My precious daughter. Nothing changes that. But everything had already changed. Now I watched them closely. They are really a happy family. I saw the way Father's eyes lit up when Jasmine played the piano. She was naturally gifted, her fingers dancing across the keys without any formal training. He'd spent years paying for my expensive piano lessons, but I'd never made him smile like that. I noticed how Mother would reach for Jasmine's hand at dinner, as if reassuring herself that her real daughter was truly there. She still reached for mine too, but there was something different, something that felt like guilt rather than love. Jasmine was sweet. That was the worst part. She wasn't cruel or manipulative, She didn't try to steal my place. In fact, she seemed almost apologetic about existing. I don't want to take anything from you, she told me one afternoon in the garden. We were having tea, mother's idea, trying to foster sisterly bonding. I know you've been their daughter all this time. I'm just grateful to finally know where I came from. She meant it. Her green eyes were sincere, kind even. And that's when I knew. She deserved this life more than I did. She deserved parents who lit up when she entered a room. She deserved the Martina name, the estate, the title. She was their real daughter, their blood. I was just the interloper who'd accidentally stolen 18 years of her life. You deserve every happiness, Jasmine, I said, meaning every word. Every single bit of it. I decided to leave this place and never come back. But little did I knew that the man who never cared was obsessed with me. But how? He never treated me like a fiancé, just an alliance. What he wants. If you enjoyed listening to this story in the comment section, follow Stories Manhwa for original stories.